Happy Saturday. It is Levack and Goz. Good morning. A lot of sports headlines for you today. Of course, I want to thank my good friends over at Tech East Fire and Water Restoration. Your best way back normal. Check them out online, tefirewater.com. Heard a lot of sirens down the hill last night. Hopefully they were followed by Tech East trucks to help everybody out. That's my dream, is a Tech East truck to follow every fire truck and flood and just be there to help. That's the dream. That's the goal. That's what we're living for, buddy. How you doing, guys? Are you in your parents' bedroom again?
No, this is, again, I'd like to remind people, this is not my parents' bedroom. This is my former bedroom back in Syracuse. I have a fantasy football draft today here in central New York. So I'm back in the wonderful 315 preparing for my draft. I'm wearing the league on our visual side. You can see I'm wearing the league's polo I got last year.
Did they make one in your size?
Yes. Yes, they did. It's like a bowling shirt, but I do like the shirt.
It's like a Steelers shirt. It's like you look like you're wearing Steelers colors.
Yeah, it is. Black and gold and yellow, black and yellow. I should know that. Wiz Khalifa, black and yellow.
When you put that on, do they not let you near bathrooms when co-eds are in bars because it's Steelers colors? Is that like a thing? I would think it's a thing. No?
Can you imagine how fast Ben Roethlisberger would have been? I didn't think we were going to go that way. How different the world would have been 15 years ago with Roethlisberger, right? And like the Watson thing. My God, what a different world we live in now.
Roethlisberger is like preying on people who have to pee. And he got like basically nothing compared to what Watson's getting too. Watson's a scumbag too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a less or more scumbag. They're probably level scumbaggery. Like they're probably on the same level of scumbaggery. And Watson gets 11 games, $5 million fine, and the world is freaking out. To this day, you bring up Ben Roethlisberger, driving his motorcycle into an old woman's car, and then that woman getting death threats from the fine people of Schittsburg. And you're an evil person. So screw Ben Roethlisberger. I hope my words hurt him so bad he's in an air cast right now.
Oh, my leg.
What makes it mean words? Oh.
I didn't feel like we were going to go with the Watson thing to start, but I kind of want to just get it out of the way with because I just want this to be over. Want it to be over. Doesn't it feel like a bad
reaction? It rubs you the wrong way?
Where's that chime? Where's that roadcaster? Hit that button.
It's in the box over here.
It feels like a reality show now at this point where Watson comes back for his first game against Houston. I mean, look what we're doing here.
That's damn well that they're sitting around the room and they're going, all right, well, if we go a full season, we're going to get pushed back. All right. But if we keep it at 6, we're going to get pushed back. Yeah. Let's make it 10 games. And then somebody looks over and goes, but if we make it 11, his first game back will be against Houston. Everybody's like, yeah, Johnny, good job. F morals. Let's get that dollar about we're going to do the best ratings all season on that game. Oh, it's going to be great.
$5 million fine too. That's good guy versus bad guy. Nothing says the good guy quite like the Houston Texans who orchestrated some of these massages. Right. I'm still convinced that had the lawyer connected with the owner of the Texans immediately when Watson wanted to be traded. So nobody's a good person, but tune in this week.
But our marketing crew has really figured out how to take this tragedy and turn it into something great. 24 women. How about 24 million viewers when he plays his old team, the Houston Texans? Check it out. Yeah, it is scummery. But it is interesting that I don't think there's a single person in the world who believes that was not a factor in how long his suspension was going to be. Again, it was all right. The judge, we bring in this arbiter, we put this new system in place. You can piss and moan all you want. It's a brand new system. You can't really use it against the old system. It's 6 games. Everybody goes, nope, no. Full season. Everybody goes, no. And then I've never seen an 11-game suspension before. It just doesn't. It's almost always a round number, right? It's always all right, 12 games, 10 games. I've never seen 11 before. Someone legitimately went, if we make it 11, we get this great other story going.
The whole thing stinks too. From the start of it, the NFL kept constantly saying, the reporters who are, hey, the NFL wants him for a full game season. He wants all 17 done in the regular season. Yeah, of course they're going to say that. What? Oh, the NFL said only 4 games. After the Ray Rice stuff, the NFL knows it's so much more about the PR. How do they look? How does the public perception feel about the league and how they handle issues like this? Than what they morally feel like is best for their business. Of course not. And now look, the Goodell criticism was, hey, Roger Goodell can't be the judge, jury, and executioner. So they figured that out in the bargaining chips and agreements. So they got changed. But hey, we're still going to pick the judge who's actually going to do it. All right. I mean,
well, don't forget, if I decide to appeal that judge, I can put myself back in charge.
Yeah.
So I'll let you do this, but if you don't do it the way I like, I'm just going to do it myself again anyway. And I have that in writing. And by the way, the Players Association agreed to all of this. So it's not like they sit there and be like, wait, that was in there too? Like, no one told us there was a page 12. Like, come on.
How much are people complaining? We'll decide what we do after the amounts of complaints. Just don't forget to download the NFL Plus app and like us on Twitter.
Get your season tickets now. The part that bothers me the most in all of this is not the 11 games. 11 games is a hefty penalty. Like, for something that we still don't really even know all the details, like a little bit's leaked here, a little bit leaked there. 11 games is a good slap. What I hate is that they still got away with shielding his money, because with the contract they gave him, it's the highest guaranteed contract in the history of the NFL. They $1 million in his first year. So he wouldn't even have lost $1 million for an 11-game suspension. Now, the rest of his contract's like 46 something, I think, a year. So a $5 million penalty, okay, that's a little bit better. But at least look at what he was making on his old contract and say, okay, if we suspended you for 11 games, even on your old contract, you would have lost $18 million. I'm making up a number. I know it's more than $1 million a game. You would have lost $18 to $20 million. That's your freaking penalty. That's your fine. That's what you're going to pay.
Percentages of your salary. That's a good way to view it, right? Hey, if that $18 million would have been 40% of your salary, whatever it is. Yeah. Makes sense.
Because again, you built this contract, and much like I just said, if you're the Players Association, you knew that you left this wiggle room in for Goodell. If you're the owners, you got to feel really stupid that you left this wiggle room in for the Players Association, where a team can write a contract like this. But the reason that you're going to see, I think, in some way, shape, or form, major pushback on all this is all the other owners hate the Browns right now. All of them hate them, because a fully guaranteed contract of that size means every guy who comes up for a contract from here on out is going to go, that's what I want. That's my deal. That's what I want. So watch what happens to the Browns. Every chance they are not going to be welcome at Jerry Jones Cookout. It's just not going to happen.
No, the Browns are going to be hated. By the way, the Browns are in action tomorrow. Watson is still eligible to play in the preseason. So I know Jacksonville fans gave him a rude, or maybe some people saying deserved, reaction when he made his preseason debut. We got 3 New York teams, Levack, back-to-back days. Today, Sunday, and Monday, all in preseason action. Before we talk about what, if anything, preseason week 2 means, let's give a shout out to our friends over at Johnstone Supply in Troy. A fantasy football draft coming up in 2 weeks. We had all our fantasy football content out there. More football on the way. We got some baseball coming up, but Johnstone Supply in Troy has been a big part of the reasons why I've got all this great coverage throughout the summer. Shout out 518-272-5922. That is their number. Call them weekdays to find out what you need to help out your home, whether it's that new AC unit, the furnace, the boiler, or maybe those tools for those summer projects. 518-272-5922. 518-272-5922, or Johnstone Supply NY on Facebook. George is our guy, man. Kev and Fish and everybody over there has been helping people improve their homes and improve what's around their homes. You got to do those projects. In the capital region in upstate New York for decades, and now they can do the same for you. Go out and support our friends over at Johnstone Supply in Troy this summer and find the upgrade that you need. Johnstone Supply in Troy.
Yes, indeedy. I got to get a big ladder. The bat issues have not completely subsided.
A second, tell me about. I know you texted me the other day. I have not heard more details about the new bat issue. I might personally send this clip to George to take care of this, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you know the first one. Like, you get up in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m., go to the bathroom, bat's buzzing, flies in my room. Cat's gone. She's no help. She's like, screw you, fat man. You're on your own. What was it? It was Tuesday night, Hard Knocks, right? So I'm I'm getting ready to watch Hard Knocks. I'm laying in my room because I'm like exhausted, but I want to watch Hard Knocks because I don't want to hear all the Dan Campbellisms the next day. I want to hear them when they happen. And I happen to look up. So like if you're in my house, so like if this is my bedroom door right here, my bathroom door is right here. So it's like just off each other. I happen to look up and this mother effer is flying right at me. Like it's to the point where I like it was a very manly, it was a manly shriek, but it was like a, ah! And it veers and now it's circling my room. So I leap into action, grab a lacrosse stick. I begin to just tell this bat everything it's done wrong in its life. Like legitimately my neighbors think I'm having a fight with a person. And I'm just like, I let your friend go. I let him live. I'm going to make an example of you. Like I'm yelling at him. I then was able to once again catch the bat with the lacrosse stick. So I catch the bat. I cradle it once. I have the bathroom window open. So I try to flip it straight out. Hits the window, goes to the floor, comes right back at me. Now it's on again. Now it's mad. So I catch it again. I like try to get out the window. I still can't. Like it's coming out of the thing. It's fighting me. Now it lands on the floor and it looks up at me and it's like and making these noises. And so I literally like freaking scoop right out the window with him. But then my buddy came over and put a new basket. It's a heavy duty screen that goes over the vent. The next day I look up and the vent is clicked. It's like they're still trying to get in. No. So I might need a big ladder to get out there and really secure that vent. I might need a fat guy ladder for that one. So
forget about the Albany Firewolves. Bat lacrosse is the new sport.
Dude,
bat lacrosse. Bat lacrosse. I saw
George Vanius. I saw him just the other day in the office. I'm like, bro, my stick skills are solid. Like I'm ready. If you need me to get back in there and just one or two lines here and there just to help out, I'll do it. I'll tell you this too. You would have put me in that goal. I promise you that when we get in a fight on Sports Center, we won't lose. Like I'll win that fight. Like that's why I'm out there, is to beat that other dude's ass. I'll block a couple shots and I'll beat that dude's ass.
Did he sign you on the spot? This is what we need.
No, he rolled his eyes at me like he used to. And then invited me to play in the Firewolves golf tournament. So at full price, of course, but still, it's coming up September something or other.
I saw George for the first time. I didn't realize in about 2.5 years in person.
Wow.
Because he goes, the last time I saw you was pre-COVID and your wife was pregnant. I'm like, wow, that's probably right. Yeah. Crazy. So good.
At least he wasn't a jerk like me and said, last time I saw you was right before your wife got pregnant.
Back to the preseason action. Less about my wife.
And that action. Pre-baby action.
Tonight we have a New York team in action. That's the Buffalo Bills. I say tonight. It's a 1:00 kickoff for the Bills Mafia. So Bills Mafia is going to get started in Western New York in a few hours here. We're live at 10:45 on a Saturday. Tomorrow, the Giants, 7:00 against the Bengals. And then a Monday Night Football matchup between the Falcons and the Jets. Of those three New York teams, and maybe the answer is even, I'll allow that on a rarity here when you have to do a multiple choice. Who of the New York teams is week 2 of the preseason most important for? Jets, Bills, Giants, or neither of the three?
For the team or for me personally?
Ooh, I don't know where that follow-up question is, so I'm going to let you go and both. I want to know now.
For the team, I think it's the Giants right now, because you and I have had the luxury of seeing how Brian Daboll and the Bills staff will bring a quarterback along. So I think if there's any chance of Daniel Jones being even a passable quarterback, he needs as many, huddle breaks and everything like that, everything he can do. So I think for teams, it's the Giants. For me personally, it's the Buffalo Bills, because I think this is the year. I think this is the absolute best Bills team of my lifetime, and I was alive for Jim Kelly and the K-Gun. So I really want to see. I want to see the guys who fill in for 2 to 3 weeks when the other guys are hurt, because I think if they have those guys, because a 17-game regular season, Diggs is going to miss a week or two. Gabe Davis is going to miss a week. There's going to be injuries, right? So I want to see the depth in the Bills, because if they have the guys that can, in a 2 to 3 week span, do enough to, only lose one of those games, then I might go ahead and just lock them in as my Super Bowl pick this year.
Ooh, a little tease for next week's football show. I like it. Very good. I'm not just saying this because he is a Jet fan. He also just noted that Todd McCloskey, where's your suit and tie today? Our guy Ryan. I didn't realize how many shows in a row I've actually done that, especially with the Empire Weekend shows too. So yeah, I'm wearing my fantasy
nerd.
I will go with Ryan's.
I've got big meetings in like 2 weeks, and I was like, God, do I have to get a jacket? And Mike Porter's like, have I ever made you wear a jacket to anything? I'll call ahead and tell them you're not wearing a jacket. Just wear a clean shirt. I'm like, all right, I can do that.
Look respectable. That's right. You don't need to do the jacket.
Don't even look respectable. Just be me, but clean. The
answer is the Jets still for me here, because I know we're post Zach Wilson and post in the sense of he's not going to play for the rest of the preseason. He's maybe going to get that start against Baltimore in week 1. But Robert Saleh and the young players for the Jets, that game's important because that young core of players is extremely important for the Jets franchise for the future. And it's not too long ago, 4 months ago, where we were talking about the 2022 New York Jets from their GM, Joe Douglas, is truly having one of the best drafts of all time. And I know those statements are very clickbaity, and it's like, oh, they had the best draft of all time. Guys, how many tackles and catches do they have so far? And they haven't played yet. But when you talk about evaluations and trades and picks and everything else, the Jets got that type of compliment post-draft this year. So those young guys, that's super important. I totally get your point about the Bills, though. Like, that's the difference between a Super Bowl team, a conference champion, a division leader is if injuries happen, special teams players, how do you make a roster, that's all good. I guess we both left off the Giants. Neither one of us, I don't know.
Well, I said the Giants, I think, because of Daniel Jones.
Right.
Like, for them. For me, it's the Bills. But for the Giants, I think I've heard people talk about Tyrod Taylor playing, like, starting for the Giants, and I'm just like, it makes no sense. Like, it makes no sense to me because what do you get? Like, okay, so Tyrod Taylor starts, and instead of winning 5 to 6 games, you win 8 to 9. Okay, so now you have a shittier draft pick to get your new quarterback. Where if Daniel Jones plays and somehow figures it out, I don't need a quarterback right away. I keep Daniel Jones. I give him a decent amount of money, and I'm done. Or I lose so many games, I have a great draft pick, and I get his replacement. So, like, there's a lot of people out there who are delusional enough to think that Tyrod Taylor makes you a playoff team as the Giants. You're not. The only thing that really, really matters this year is deciding whether or not you're going to pay Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, all those guys. That's the only thing that matters for the Giants this year. So let them go out there, let them run, let them play, and then make your real decisions with crappy draft picks or, hey, we're pretty good. Let's add a couple pieces. And then Kenny Galladay, get off your ass, do something.
Yes, what a terrible scene. And Kadarius Toney the same way. Those guys stunk last year.
No, Joker.
Physically, they're really good, and we're going to find out maybe as soon as September if it's Daniel Jones is the reason why they're not getting the football and they're struggling, or it's those receivers. That's going to be probably answered very quick. Back to the Taylor thing. Giant fan just wants anything but Daniel Jones at this point. It feels like it's a whole different regime ago and everybody else, which is true. Like, Gettleman's the one who drafted him. It's not their guy. But I root for Tyrod Taylor or Tyrod Taylor, whatever you want, T-Mobile, whatever he wants to go by. Because it's hard for me to find a more bad luck quarterback in recent times. From the whole, the spleen, where like his own doctor punctured his spleen.
His lung.
Thank you. His lung, right? And a Herbert takes over and he's a star from.
The spleen was Drew Bledsoe.
Thank you. That's right.
Lewis hit him. Yeah.
That's right. I'm thinking about quarterbacks taking other quarterbacks' jobs with weird organs. That's right. It gets spleens and those situations. So that happens. And then Cleveland, he gets benched for Baker on that Thursday night. Buffalo got good when he left. I kind of want to see something go well for this guy and see something that can really grade of how good of a quarterback is. Baltimore's in that mix somewhere too with Taylor. So no, he won't be the starter, but I would like something to go his way, please. Guy's gone through a bunch here.
Yeah, but again, what does it do for him? Like, in all reality, the best thing for him would be a place like San Fran. So if like Trey Lance fell on his face, you jump in and you take over, or Baltimore again, because Lamar Jackson goes crazy and you jump in, you take over. Like, the Giants, you're a bridge. You're nothing but a bridge quarterback for the Giants, where you could jump in and be, the kind of guy who, you could be a Nick Foles in certain organizations. I just don't think the Giants are one of them.
No, it doesn't make sense for them. And I know this guy doesn't play for a New York team anymore, but I just want to bring him up one more time. Is Nathan Peterman the greatest August quarterback ever? I don't know if you caught Thursdays. He's Chicago and Seattle. He looks like an unbelievable quarterback. He's great. Every year we do this with Nathan Peterman. He stinks when he plays a real game. He's got to be the greatest practice quarterback ever.
And it's got to be a mental thing. It's got, well, again, I get it. You're probably going against twos. You're not going against ones.
Maybe even threes.
Right. But he just is so crisp and everything else. I think it's mental. I think it's one of those things where it's like, this game doesn't matter. And then he gets into a real game, and it's like, even if it's like week 2 against a crappy opponent, he's like, oh my God, if I get lost, it's gonna be terrible. And then he just gets smoked. I was so mad that he sucked.
Oh, he's been terrible. Like, the hardest part about the evaluation of Nathan Peterman, former Bills quarterback and Jet
Raiders
fan and Raider quarterback, that's right, is that he is so historically awful in those games. You just wonder, maybe he's good in practice. Maybe we're the ones.
Remember, Gruden loved him. Gruden was like all about him. Like, I think Gruden really thought that he could be something. Like, he was gonna like fix him, and then he would either go start somewhere else or he would push Carr. But like maybe he's the greatest quarterback coach ever. Maybe that's what he's gonna be. I don't know, but you get a preseason game and that dude's jumping in. You might want to throw a little. You bet some preseason that game because he's gonna light it up. But
it was a
regular season.
No. It was a few weekends ago where you had some construction going on at your house. Where I'm set up right now, my parents' neighbor, is doing some type of yard work. So I don't know if it's coming through the mic, and if it is, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. Okay.
I don't hear it.
I've lived your life now. Oh, by the way, there's some National Arena League news, Levack. I don't think I didn't notice some stuff going on at the NAL involved.
Never heard of them.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to them, but first we want to talk about our friends over at Lily and David Fine Jewelers, Route 50, the shops of Wilton. Oh, we had a nice little mass text going between Alyssa, you and I, over the past few days, so I like that. I don't even want to unveil what's going on in that mass text. We'll keep that between Alyssa, you, and I. How about? Is that fair? I don't know if there's details have moved since then.
She makes rings. We need rings. I don't know how hard it is to figure that out. It's just a matter of if I can afford Alyssa, Lily, and David craftsmanship. She's amazing. So that's the.
Well, don't worry, Levack. You know this, and so do I. They will find what works for your budget. If you're looking to pop the question for her, the engagement ring, Alyssa, David, and the crew will help you find what you're looking for. Family-owned and operated business. Wherever you're looking across upstate New York, we hope that you head over to Wilton, New York, and stop into Lily and David Fine Jewelers. If you're making that road trip up to Saratoga, so many people make it a once-a-year thing. They head to Saratoga. Stop over to Lily and David Fine Jewelers. Engagement ring, wedding band, earring, whatever it might be. Grab something for that fiance, girlfriend, wife in your life. Lily and David Fine Jewelers can help you find it. I know from experience they can do the same for you. Sister's getting married next week. Hopefully Rob knows what's good for him. My soon-to-be brother-in-law, and he goes to Lily and David Fine Jewelers for more to come. Lily and David Fine Jewelers, when you stop in, tell me you heard about Goz's story, tell me you heard about Levack looking for Albany Empire rings and more, right there, Route 50, the shops of Wilton.
Corey says hi, just so you guys know. Hi, guys.
Corey had not left me a message for a while. Then he randomly said, can I get in your fantasy football league? Or you guys should do a fantasy football league. I see your play there, Corey. We have a fantasy football event coming up, and I'll let you be the Kuiper, where you grade everybody's team. The league is already set, though, Corey, and unfortunately, you did not make the Godzilla Media League this year.
When is the Corey from Greenwich podcast joining Godzilla Media? When is that happening?
He knows the number. Corey knows how to contact me. If you ever want to do a podcast, I feel like it would just be like one continuous thought, though. They're like, there wouldn't be topics. There would just be Corey.
It'd be on the tractor with Corey. Hey, all right, Gary, Mabel, and the other cows. Who's your favorite quarterback of these 75? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Matthew Stafford's underrated.
Selfishly, I'm thinking about Corey calling Mel Kiper and be like, Mel, just want to let you know I got a new podcast through Godzilla Media that you can listen to now. Corey on the Farm, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Like, that's how you do it. That's the promotion I need, Corey, for Godzilla. You calling Jody McDonald. Mel Kiper. Radio
Not
stations
me.
people listen to.
Anyone
That's
besides
right.
me. That's fine. What do you want to know? What's your
So there's some
problem?
moves involving coaches already. The season is barely, it's not even a week done.
Well, it's like, I mean, that's typical for football, though. Black Monday and all that stuff. Jacksonville fired their coach, and Orlando fired their coach, and on and on and on. And then the dude in Columbus decided that he was going to go join his hated rival. All the fun stuff that you love to see. And it's been fun watching all that burn up the back pages of the NAL.
So Coach Gibson goes from Columbus to Jacksonville. Jacksonville made a change. They're like, we want to bring this guy over, and it was fast, and it happened. So, hey, the Sharks are being competitive. They, dare I say, blood in the water, like a shark.
I see what you did there. Well, it's intriguing though, because like that's always been, Coach Gibson has always been known as one of the hardest working guys in the league. The Lions have been like the Buffalo Bills of the National Arena League. 3 championship games, lost all 3. 0-5 against us. And then if I read it correctly, like he's only won like once in Jacksonville. So now he's going to go there. They've won 2 championships, one against him with Columbus. So I would imagine the scenario is whatever he didn't think he was getting from the Lions, he's going to get from Jacksonville, the Sharks, and now he's going to win a title in his mind. But seeing and talking to the people of Columbus and like, because everybody chats now, like all the teams talk in the off season, they feel pretty betrayed. They didn't see this coming. So it's going to be, that was already a hated rivalry. Like those guys are so close to each other. Like if you're the Lions, you want to beat the Sharks every year. If you're the Sharks, you want to make sure you beat the Lions every year. Like the Lions fans really hate the Sharks right now. Go look at some of the chat pages, man. It's bad.
It feels the reason why the hate is there. This has nothing to do with, I'm sure, people you've worked with because it's a different organization, or maybe it does. That's why I like this question. How it was presented on social media seemed as if he was retiring. It seemed as if, hey, he's stepping away from the franchise.
We kind of all knew. We knew.
Okay, because from an outside perspective, from a fan perspective, I feel like that may have fueled some of the hate for this move because it felt like Coach was just leaving the organization because it was so fast after the season. And then when you see him jump to Jacksonville, it's like, what the weird comparison, but it's like Ric Flair. Like Ric Flair's retiring.
Oh, it's
no,
a heel
he's
move.
not.
Yeah, it's a heel
definitely
move.
A heel
it's definitely
move.
a heel move. Even when the announcement happened yesterday, if you watch the comments on the Sharks Facebook page, there was a lot of hate going his way. So, and I'm sure he's a smart guy. I've talked to him a bunch of times. Again, we played them in the championship game last year. He was our guest here this season in the championship game. And I had a chance to talk to him. I've always gotten along with him, so if you're going to make that kind of move, there's a reason behind it. And I think he thinks this is where he's going to get his ring, is what I think he thinks. But I mean, you got to get through Albany. You haven't done that yet. Jacksonville's only beat us once. And then, that was an interesting game. It's weird. But like, there's a lot more to it than just jumping to your rival. You're a pretty hated dude now. You're a pretty hated dude.
You see what our guy Christian did? That's a really good, nice play there. I think the Lions need new gear. What that is as smooth as it gets right there. That is very well done. I want to applaud in my own mic there. Very nice job by Christian slipping that in for
Kendall Roy
Elevation 10K. Kendall Roy, very good, smooth right there.
Well, because right now, so Elevation 10K started with us, and then I introduced them to Orlando. Now they do the Orlando team store. They do the Jacksonville team store. I think they're talking to somebody else as well. Columbus is one of the only ones they don't have yet. So when I talk to the Columbus ownership again, I'll remind them you're out there, okay, Christian? But I better get like some free gear for that. I mean, these finder's fees, they're starting to rack up. I'm just saying.
It's really possible they could switch up the logo. A lot of organizations and franchises, when they go through a change.
Logo, he said gear. The logo is pretty solid.
No, get the new logo, get more gear. So it's an old apparel move. Ghazi Bear remembers Victory Promotions.
Yeah.
So now Columbus and Fayetteville are the only 2 openings.
Yeah. Fayetteville has their coach.
Okay, that's
they're bringing their coach in.
Okay.
I believe West Texas and Fayetteville are both bringing their own coaches with them.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, West Texas, the Warbirds, they're 18-0. They've never lost since they've been created. So I would imagine you keep everything going the way it's going until you play us and we beat your ass. But no, it's yeah. So right now, yeah, Columbus is the big opening, and see who gets that job.
Love it. Good stuff. Positive stuff coming from the National Arena League. I can't say as much about positive things about your New York Yankees.
I'm not really. I saw today they are the first team in the history of baseball to go over 700 in their first 60 games and then under 500 in the next 60 games. Yeah, there's something wrong. I think, obviously the injuries to the pitching staff is definitely a problem. I saw Kendall Roy say that it's they need Giancarlo Stanton back, which is true. I mean, there's a lot of stuff missing. It's not full panic time yet, but it's definitely like, let's do something, because it's just, you're playing so uninspired. You've been shut out 5 times in August. That lineup was just blasting home runs out of the park and everything else. Now you get shut out 5 times in 1 month, and the month isn't even over yet. It might be more. So there's definitely something that needs to be done, and it needs to be done like right now. I don't know if it's one of those players only meetings that we hear about, or if Boone has to have a savages in the box moment, or if the trolls have to start coming out and threatening to fire Cashman again. Whatever it is, something has to happen to wake these boys up, because they are playing like trash.
Heading into the weekend, they only had 2 wins in August by a starting pitcher, and they had not had a winning streak since July 30th. That's insane for about a month and a half plus month gone through August, getting closer to the playoffs.
I just look it up and I'm seeing the quote from Boone. We need to start playing better. Oh, whew. Oh. All right, he figured it out, guys. It's okay. Everything's hey guys. Boone figured it out. Oh yeah, the Yankee problem. No, it's okay. He just said they need to start playing better. Oh, everybody's relieved. Everybody over there is relieved. Okay. I mean,
the curse of Joey Gallo is a lot more fun. Like, I've seen every day that's turning into Stranger Things with the elements of the graphic work that's going into these designs. I want to go back to what Christian brought up, though, because it is the most intriguing part of it for the legacy of Stanton in New York. Since the moment, since he made his debut for the Yankees, and these Yankee fans who did this were fools when they were booing him in his first game where he struggled.
Right.
They wanted to boo him. I hope, because Stanton's been good, maybe not as good enough as a Yankee fan feels like he should be, but good, that when he returns and they start to win, that's the ultimate moment of like, all right, we appreciate you. Thank you, man. And whatever that October is going to define him, like it does for every Yankee player. That's just what it is. That's what you sign up for. But I hope it's that he comes back and they're like, oh yeah, we missed you, man. Thank you. We needed you out here. Just the whole lineup's better with you out there. How they pitched.
He's gonna come back. He's 1 for 3, and everybody's gonna be like, "What a piece of shit!" Like, it stinks. Like, he's always gotten a raw rap. He's always been the guy who, like, my favorite is, why would they give him that contract? They didn't. They were given a you can't say no trade from Jeter. That contract was already in place. So it's like always one of those ones where it's like, and then, oh yeah, but it's still a lot of money. Okay. A lot of things are a lot of money. Like a heart transplant probably isn't cheap. Somebody offers you a heart and you need one, you'll get it. Like, that's like whatever. Just he's always gotten a bum rap. It's nice to hear people start saying nice things about him. I'll be shocked if they continue to. I really, really will.
No, wait, you're gonna be shocked if they ever keep saying nice things about him?
Yeah, no, because they just don't. There's just something about him that the fan base doesn't like. He has gone out of his way to not even say anything this year. When's the last time you saw a quote from Giancarlo Stanton? When is it? Like, I can't recall. You can't tell me they're not talking to him with the way he was playing.
Let's blame Alex Rodriguez, because the back and forth, it's a Jeter A-Rod thing that has not left New York. The 2-star. Wait,
I'll go way deeper than that.
Yeah. Let's go even further back, because you and I had this conversation with the day it happened. You called this from the moment Stanton showed up, that the New York media was going to make this Jeter versus A-Rod. I'm like,
I told you they were going to make it. I told you they were going to make it Mantle versus Maris.
Yes. Yeah.
But Jeter A-Rod's another good one. But like Mantle Maris, where it's like in 61 when Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle are going for Babe Ruth's 61 home runs, they're gonna hit him. People are rooting against Maris. He's in pinstripes, but he's a free agent. Mickey's our guy. It's got to be Mickey. They're sending death threats to a guy who's helping you win baseball games and is going to hit home runs and pinstripes. So like Yankee fans are not normal. There's some crossed wires. Back then it was worse, you would think. And then since Stanton got here, Stanton had a bad game. He was a steaming pile of crap. Stanton had a good game. You'd hear like grumbling, oh, I guess he's okay. You know, and I love Judge. I love the way he's been playing. But Stanton's just as good, to be perfectly honest with you. They don't let him play the outfield. He could.
Yeah, that's
right.
right.
He doesn't have Judge's arm, though. Judge's arm is amazing.
Could a prospect call-up have the impact that we saw in past Yankee seasons from guys like, Judge and Sanchez and others when they were minor leaguers? Frazier, too. Frazier should be mentioned there. Can it happen again? A prospect helps? The
right guy. I mean, I'd have to – the worst thing is you can't even just look at talent, right? You can't just go like, well, Estevan Florial has finally figured it out, or this one's doing that, or this one, or Jason Dominguez is at 20 years old. He's ready. Physically, he's ready. Because it's more than physical. Like you've got to be able to bring in like that lightened sense of fun too. Because that's what these guys were doing. You look at the way these guys came in. Like Clint Frazier was such a doofus that people like you could be calm because you knew the media was going to attack him every day. Like like other guys, just different things. I don't know.
No, it's the blanket statement of a prospect by me is hard because what is it? Is it a pitcher? Is it a closer? Is it an outfielder? Is it LeCastro's? I know is not a prospect anymore because he's older, but hey, a speedster on the base paths that sparks something. It's a wide topic, and those guys, Sanchez and Judge, are home run hitters. You could turn it into a summer game where those guys are blasting home runs. It's like, okay, that's the difference maker we're looking for. And sometimes it's about attitude. Hey, this young guy is just fun to be around, and he's getting us out of the slumps, and we're not so hyper focused on struggling right now. We're just Oswaldo Cabrera, I know, came up, and there's been a nice story about him getting his major league home run and first hit, and his family's there. So that's been fun, but it hasn't turned into results when Vlad Guerrero Jr. smashing the ball 500 feet. It'd be a nice combination of good defense, good pitching, and the young prospect. That just hasn't happened yet at this point for the Yankees to turn around. The glimmer of hope that is still there, and this is a Yankee fan talking to you like this is still good. The lead is still massive in the AL East. Yeah. It's huge. You're okay.
Well, Christian brings some good points. Kendall Roy brings some good points. Without Stanton there, there's no protection for Judge. The guys that you move up in the lineup without him there have not produced. Donaldson, Torres, Hicks. Donaldson had a little window where he was playing pretty well. I keep waiting for that to pop back open. And then you mentioned how you trade a starting pitcher. I got to be honest with you. I think at this moment, I think it's a spark plug thing. I think there's still plenty of talent. All those guys can hit. All those guys can pitch. They're just not getting it done right now. I think we need a Savages in the box moment. I think this is where you would have seen, even Torrey. Joe Torre would have got kicked out of a game. He would have went out and argued until he got kicked out of a game. Like Boone needs to. I don't know. Like if somebody wrote Savages in the box, they need to write a new scene because we need a Savages. We need him to go out and be like, my guys are. It's Savages in that way. And like, because then you watch that bench, everybody's like, it was like those meerkat videos where like everybody went up, right? Like, what the hell? Like, and then they started playing better baseball.
Boone wanted it earlier this week.
Yeah.
There was a play with Anthony Rizzo early in the game where Rizzo gets hit by a pitch and the umpire tells him to come back because he leaned into it. And Boone just blew a gasket. And he's like, you can't, he got a hit. What are you? They got hit by a pitch. You can't. Right. So you could just see Boone and it was great because really some Yankee fans were like, tonight's the night Boone gets thrown out. And the first inning, he goes out and starts arguing, calling, oh, he wants to get tossed so bad. He wants that quote. Savage moment right now.
He needs that quote.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell was going on with San Diego's uniforms?
Ugh, goodness.
What is that all about? I honestly don't know. I was busy doing other stuff. I just looked up and I saw San Diego looks like the 80s threw up on their uniforms. Like neon pink sleeves, and
they've got Soto and the suspended Fernando Tatis Jr. now. They're just trying here. San Diego is.
Have you seen their uniforms?
Yeah, they're terrible. They're awful.
The pink and the white and the green, and
then they have a brown one they used to use. The brown one was just as bad earlier this season too.
This is like you gotta. Let's see if I can pull it up. Like, I don't think maybe you haven't seen this yet either.
Maybe I saw the wrong one. I thought it was a brown one that they were using.
No. This doesn't even.
Okay.
This is.
And while you're looking that up, Fernando Tatis Jr., by the way, the rumor out there is that he had ringworm, and that's why he got the 80 game suspension. Nobody's buying that, Fernando Tatis with Google. And there's also rumors that Tatis had shoulder issues that was keeping him off the field, and they kept telling him, like, hey, you got to chill, man. Like, you got to go to PT. You got to get surgery. And he's like, no, I'll just go to the cage. What? So for our audio audience, it feels like those old Miami Vice City jerseys. It also feels like a bunch of, like, oh, man.
You know what it
bears
is?
wure gummy
no, you know
bears
what it looks like? Like, in all sincerity, it looks like a taco truck.
Does look like a taco truck.
It's terrible. That's terrible. I don't know what they're going on.
San Diego needs
like
leadership.
Remember those Burger King uniforms we had? Let's do something more hideous. Sorry. I saw that. I was like, what the hell? I didn't know if it was a whole thing. I just didn't know about it.
No, it's very strange. By the way, you and I have an interesting layout next week. So we got a lot more show coming up here. We got UFC talk coming. We've got some college football, a bunch of that stuff, but Q&A at the end of the day, of course. But you and I have our 2 football shows coming out next week, and Mohawk Chevy and Goz Media. We're going to be live on Thursday. Some details of how we're going to be supporting them still being determined, but we're really excited on Thursday, August 25th from Mohawk Chevy in Malta. It is the mobile tour stop where, if you are a fan of Corvettes, the 2023 Corvette is making its debut. We've been hearing some awesome hype about this. Live music, food, beverage trucks, cookies, polka dots, awesome stuff. A big event's coming up on Thursday, this upcoming Thursday, from Mohawk Chevy, where they always go out of their way to please you. We love our family over at Honda and Chevy, but I see you're upset about this.
Well, because I'm like, my vacation is scheduled for a long time now, and I'll be in Tampa for that. My birthday is the day after that. Going to visit family. Haven't seen them in a long time. And now they do a full Corvette event with like live music and everything. Bullshit. Mad. I was wondering why Andy Gelcher was texting me the other day. He's like, hey, how's everything going?
That's why he wanted us there Thursday. And look, we both wanted to be there. It just didn't work out. We're bummed. I got the wedding rehearsal dinner that day. You're in Florida that day. I suggest, although it's going to be a great event Thursday, they do a second event just for you and I, and we can drive the Corvette. You can drive the Corvette. I don't want to do that. That's too scary for me.
That's a terrible idea for you. I don't know if my fat ass can get in and out of one. Well, if I can, I will. No, I want to be there. I want to be there for my people. I want to be there for the Corvette. But it's a hell of a commute, so I'm not going to do it.
I'm just thinking about this now of how cool people look coming out of a Corvette and how uncool you and I would be coming out of a Corvette. Yeah.
I look like Winnie the Pooh when he got stuck in the wall, like Piglet trying to push me out, freaking lather me up. Yeah,
tipping over,
cover me with armor all, and try to squeeze me out of the damn thing. Be great. This
time next week, football will be on. In 2 weeks, we'll have even more football. It is week 0, Levack. College football is coming back. Hawaii and Vanderbilt, New Mexico State's kicking off. I like week 0, even though you sniffed out the real concept of week 0 immediately, and a lot of people never figured it out. I do still like week 0 in college football. For those who have never heard that before, there you go. Explain that to them, what you sniffed out about week 0.
Well, it was the Coke Zero, but I happen to be drinking a Zero Pepsi Zero there. It's good marketing. Oh, let's do a week before the week. Oh yeah, what do we call it? Well, we got all this money coming in from Coca-Cola. Coke Zero, week 0. Oh, and then we'll have Deshaun Watson play his first game after going to rub and tugs against his old team.
You can't fool us, you marketing companies. Although I'll be locked in for college football next week.
I'm happy to bet. Call it whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Call it the Live Tour week 1. I don't freaking care. Like, it's football. It's back. I'm in. Like, my indoor football is done on that level. Now it's all meetings and planning and strategizing. It's time for outdoor football, baby.
Is it weird that you and I don't care as much about the biggest headlines of college football of the past few months, which is conference realignment and now these TV deals? I feel like once there's games, fans like us just enjoy it, but that stuff is just kind of, it's headline grabbing. But once it's actually Michigan versus Ohio State or games on the field, fans don't care about that as much as it seems experts and analysts and writers care about those types of topics.
As long as I can see it, it doesn't really, like, when they first started putting the TV the Yankee games on Prime, and it took me a second to figure out how to freaking watch them. That pissed me off. But like as long as I have the ability to watch them, I'm good. Like good, put them more, make your money, put them where the hell you want them. I don't care. I just want, as long as I can see them without paying a bunch of extra money, I'm in. Let's go.
The thing with the college football deals, the reason they're so big, just to explain it, I feel like it's more obvious to fans than they realize. It's huge, like bigger markets, like spread across. Like, yes, you have huge cities in the NFL, of course, but I'm talking about down in the SEC and the Big Ten and the ACC. It's just more spread out, and it's more content. So you have more teams because there's 130 FBS teams, I should say, FBS, and there's 32 NFL teams. So you got more content, you've got more overall regions, and you've got a really, really passionate fan base wherever you go to find those teams. So that's why they're doing, and it's live programming, right? Yeah. We're in 2022. If you're a cable company and you're dying to survive, which I know that's an oxymoron, but you got to find ways to make money. And this is how you do it. You got to get this live programming out there. So all that stuff makes sense as to why they're throwing a ton of money at these guys, because if it's not this, then what is it? How else?
I changed my mind. I don't want anything on Apple Plus. That's annoying.
You don't like Apple Plus?
It's got enough of my freaking money. I'm not paying for Apple Plus. I got a phone. I got a freaking iPad.
I'm dumping. I like Ted Lasso, but I'm dumping Netflix too. Although the Tao documentary is awesome.
Isn't Ted Lasso on Apple Plus?
Yeah, I got to keep that around. Or my sister does, or my sister-in-law does.
Right. Well, that's what you got to do. Like, you got to have one. I got to have the other. Like, you got to have like a group of like 4 who like each has a different, like, I'll pay for this, you pay for that, you pay for this, and we all just share. That's the way to do it.
Albany football has Baylor in their first game. Syracuse has Louisville. Union's got a 3-time All-American. RPI got to the Elite Eight. So it should be a really good year for New York football, too, from all the areas from FBS to D3.
So Albany Baylor is going to be an interesting game. Very, very early. I hope it's one of those ones like they did against Pitt where they were in it for the first 3 quarters. And because Baylor's, historically speaking, kind of school is going to put a lot of points up on that team they paid to come in and play. So I'm really pulling for our guys.
Great Danes defensive backs better be ready because they're going deep balls, streaks. They're going to just gun that thing around.
Get your cardio ready.
As for the Syracuse-Louisville game, if there is one college football game, I'm very happy this season that New York doesn't have New York legal wagers on college games this one, because this one stinks out loud. Louisville has killed Syracuse. I washed away the Lamar Jackson years now. I finally figured out. Then the Malik Cunningham, they just killed Syracuse for like 8 years. In the Orange are a 3-point underdog at home. That should be like a 9-point line. Something's fishy. Dino Babers.
Then take Hughes.
Mr. Cover.
Yeah. If they should be down 9, they only have 3. They're begging you to take Louisville. You got to take Hughes.
I like that. Go Orange. I'll be at the game. USC 278 tonight, Levack. I like this card. I'm not sure if you saw some of the veterans on here. We got some fighters. Luke Rockhold, Aldo. Our guy Usman, he's still our guy, right? I'm
over him.
What?
What happened? The guys who are like cocky and arrogant, but are entertaining about it. You know, your Jorge Masvidal's, your Conor McGregor's. Like even McGregor kind of it wears on me a little bit over time. I can take. There's just something about the way, like, he's obviously faking it, and it's just annoying. I don't like it. It's not fun. It's neither fun nor funny. So I'm not the Usman fan I once was anymore.
So there's less charisma and more phoniness. You feel like he's acting
he's just acting like an a-hole.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. I'm probably gonna root for Edwards tonight.
Ooh.
I don't even know what the numbers are.
He's got to be a big underdog in this too. Usman hasn't lost in a long time. You can make a really good case
Costa
that
always hurt. By the way,
always hurt.
Yeah.
Always hurt. You can make a really strong case that Usman's the best pound for pound fighter in the UFC right now, male or female. I know Nunes lost recently. I do like his hat. I wish he'd send it back to me. But pound for pound, he might be the best. Now with guys coming in and out, he's so good. And maybe that's the frustration here with Usman, because
plus 280. Let's go.
Plus 280.
Yeah.
In a rematch fight?
Yeah.
Oh man, that is a nice number.
Usman's minus 360.
That's not as nice, although that's a little lower than I thought. I thought he'd probably be closer to
Costa's
390 or
minus
400.
400. Rockhold's plus 310.
Here's the thing with I'll say one more thing about Usman and then go to Rockhold. But yeah, until I see somebody beat him, like dominate him, I don't know if I would touch Edwards on that, but
Yeah,
that's a really tasty line they gave. The Rockhold thing, this goes back, and Rockhold and Aldo are on the same card. Remember back to the McGregor Aldo card, it was Weidman versus Rockhold, and Rockhold just beat the piss out of Chris Weidman. Remember that he just laid like face down inside the octagon, and it was one of those fights. I'm like, somebody's got to stop this. I know Weidman's like showing signs of life, but Rockhold, that dude's got a rock as a head. So that's the reason I would not pick against Luke Rockhold, is because that dude just eats punches.
That's the problem with fights too, though. Is like there's no way to do a spread. Like you can do rounds, like when you think it's going to end, but like like you said with Syracuse, I'm getting 3 points. I don't need to win. I see to lose less. Like with fights, it's win or lose, baby. Here we go.
For this type of card, UFC 278, I'll get a hot take for you on a Saturday in the summer. This has the potential to be I said top 5 earlier in the week, top 3 card of the year for the UFC. Because here's why it's
coming off a great one too.
I know. Here's why I like cards like this, though. When you have the mix of familiar names, Usman, Rockhold, Aldo, it gives the people who might be casually tuning in an opportunity to be like, oh, I know those guys. And then you watch the undercard and someone makes a name for themselves. Because that's the cool part about it, where it's like, okay, I'm buying the pay-per-view or I'm watching the pay-per-view because I've watched these guys in the past. All right, who's going to steal the show on the bottom? There are some cards that are just prospect filled, where it's kind of like bracket busters. They do that in college basketball. Like, okay, unless you're really into it, it might not be that big of an audience. Then you could have cards that are old school guys filled, and it's like, okay, there's a reason they're old. This isn't as good as it used to be. This is the perfect mix of prospects have a chance plus old school names on a card like this.
Yeah, I think that's what sucks right now for me about the UFC. I used to know so many of these young up and comers because of the Tough Enough series. Like I loved watching that. I've tried watching it this year and the year before, and I'm just not as into it. I'm just not. I don't know if it's a lack of time, if my preferences changed, and they don't present it the same way. But like that was when you knew, like you could watch, like if you watched Tough Enough, you knew Forrest Griffin was going to make noise.
Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. Well, Tough. That's the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, Tough Enough, same thing.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, same thing. Well, they call it Tough now, so that's what. But even Tough Enough. There's these people still talk about those boogers. Daniel Puder.
That's right. The Kamara lock he had on him.
Yeah, so the prelims are the way to go. It's just you got to sit through some 3-round duds to get to those 1 round, 1.5 round firework fights. That's the problem.
We gotta get the UFC back in Albany. It's been I know this fight's out in Utah. It's been years. We got
AEW coming to the MVP arena. We got Impact coming to the Armory. Your boy Hannafin reached out to me, told me they were coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So
maybe we hang out with those guys then. That's nice. He's a good dude.
I might be busy. I might be somewhere else.
We got to find a way. This is my goal for September, is to get Jungle Boy to meet my son. He's a huge Jungle Boy fan. So Jungle Boy Jack Perry, the late.
They're trying to make him like a tough guy now.
Yeah, I haven't showed him those videos yet. He won't understand that. Just like that instead. Yeah, UFC should be good. Should be a good card. Excited for that. Shout out, by the way, to Dana White, man. As much as sometimes I feel like he's also filled with nonsense he spews, smart to get this card in right before the fall starts, right before those college football. Have that last big weekend, sneak it right in.
Day after Rough and Rowdy,
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Rough and Rowdy. I didn't think they were going to make the show. You were fascinated by the Rough and Rowdy last night for Barstool.
You know what the beauty of what Barstool does with Rough and Rowdy? It's fast. 21 fights. To the point where even like at one point they were slowing down a little bit, and you hear Portner go, "This isn't moving as fast. It should move faster." And I'm like, "Yeah, get him, ADD boy. Let's go." Ring girls there was like 2 good-looking ring girls. That's it. Fights, most of the fights are garbage, but it's nonstop. It's constantly moving. I could do without Caleb Presley. I could do without him.
Oh, you don't like his shtick?
No, it's just like when he's sitting there talking to the one girl's mom, and he's like, have you considered the fact that she could be disfigured forever? And she's like, no. And he goes, but like, have you thought about it? It's like, oh God, all right, I get it. You're serious. I get it. Stop your shit. Stop your act. 3 minutes of boxing. She's gonna be fine. And then she ends up whooping her ass. Spoiler alert. So
he's got like the between two ferns thing going, but he's also an athlete, so you can't really tell.
Kind
he
of.
Never rigs characters, sort of.
He was an athlete. He's not an athlete anymore.
No, he's
his Hasbulla fight interview was good. That was
very
good.
funny.
Well, no, yeah, him as the ringside, and like they kept having trouble with their mics and everything, which is hysterical too. But like, you know, there were some good fights. You know what it is? It's like what's that World Star? Like at most of their fights, if you were drunk in a bar, those fights could happen right across from you. And if nobody breaks them up, that's what it looks like.
There's a 100% total audience for that. Just like there's an audience for the Paul brothers, just like there's an audience for Triller is what it was with Snoop Dogg and all of them. Like there's an audience for all this stuff, and people like Barstool are smart enough to take advantage of it and make some money off of it. Now, the thing with Barstool though, look, I want Barstool to be successful. I want I must be in a good mood on a Saturday. I want media companies to be successful because if they're successful and that's where you're finding content, it's better for us. Trust me, when some of this stuff sucks, it's not good for the business. I know that's an interesting answer, but I think you know what I mean by that. When more people are consuming it, it's better for our field, which is not always the case.
That's why, you know, to a different level, like the NAL, the National Arena League. Like if any other team calls me and asks me for help, I help them because we are better if we're all good. You know, like obviously I want to be the best. I want my team to bring home the rings. I want my team to win it all. But I want all those other teams, you know, to eat, because if they do, the league gets bigger, the league gets stronger, the league gets better. I think that there's something to the business model of Barstool that could be applied to the National Arena League, like stool scenes, stuff like that, all the things they do. Like we should know people on every team. Like every team should have, for lack of a better term, a character, whether it's a player, a front office, equipment manager, whatever it is that we all know. It's like, oh, here comes the Columbus Lions. They got that wacky media guy. He's funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's just something to that, to the way their business model works, where you have your content, so you have your game, then you have your content that circles your content. What happens in the office, the inner workings, this, that, and the other thing, how they all come together. And I think that's something that could work. And it could work at Godzilla too, except for the rest of the shows are crap. There's like us, Bros and Bourbon, the Coaches Show. Yeah.
I laughed at that because I thought you were going to finish it off with Hard Knocks. I'm like, oh, he's talking about Hard Knocks. Like Hard Knocks was
to a degree.
Yeah, and then you finished it off with the Godzilla. I'm like, no.
Well, actually, I was talking to Armin last night, our good friend Armin Williams, because he had noticed Andrew Williams, our other good friend, got promoted, got that big job. And I told him kind of what I was thinking, and he goes, "Oh, so like this?" I go, "No, imagine Hard Knocks without the NFL regulations."
Yeah,
it's like, oh,
that's pretty cool.
Could get real.
The reason I brought up Barstool, though, and it kind of goes to what you're talking about, those changes and how people are doing media. The reports out there that Barstool just got sold. That Penn National Gaming has bought 100% of Barstool, and they're going to own the company. Now, I bring that up because there's a few ways you can look at that. That's either a great thing that people who want to be content creators and do this stuff, that it works. And like you said, hey, people responded to that and he cashed out. Or there's a recession potentially on the way, and people like him and Clay Travis and Levitard are just like, I'm getting out before it gets worse. I'm just going to go. Bill Simmons, right, for Spotify. Maybe it's just the timeline is convenient, and sports legal wagering has also benefited some of these content creators. But I wonder about the future of Barstool, like anybody else should have. Hey, once it gets sold, will it be the same thing 6 months, a year from now? Is that good for the medium? Those are all questions I think.
If they're smart, it will be, because if you think about it, why would I give you money to promote my brand if I have the best promotion wing going? Like people are so loyal to Barstool, like Piggyback, the Pig Whistle or whatever. It was the cheaper version of the really expensive bourbon out there. And I guarantee, because that sponsored Rough and Rowdy, people are buying it today. How many high noons have you seen since they started drinking on Barstool?
Yeah.
So if I'm Penn Gaming, I didn't know who that Penn Gaming was before they got in with Barstool. So they're smart. If they're smart, they'll keep Barstool moving the way it's moving and use it to promote all their brands.
And Portnoy will be a lot more rich.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's set for life already. Well, Dad's a lawyer, so he already had decent cash before it started. So good for him. You got vision.
How about Q&A to end the day? We got a nice message from our guy Cam here. Did you see this?
No.
Instacam. Instacam is allegedly at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo and said people are already going through tables.
That sounds about right.
Wait a minute, it's the preseason. Save your tables for a week 8 matchup against New England or whatever that game is.
You got even fans need to shake the rust off. Preseason form, regular season form. These Bills fans, they take this seriously, my friend. They're doing their job. They're getting ready. Now, if the table's on fire, that's regular season. You gotta wait. Don't light the table on fire yet. That's after.
There's lines to this thing. You gotta make sure. Okay, this is where we go first, and there it goes next.
Right here, right. Proper acceleration. Boom, side through the table. Good to go. On fire. That's week 3 to 6. So you don't do it before then. You don't not before then.
We got a lot of fantasy football stuff that came yesterday, more so about the league and the picks. Are you happy? This is a little spoiler alert for the fantasy episode. You've got, I believe, the 3rd pick in the Godzilla Media League. Yep. Are you happy about that? Because I saw a long chain here of threads from tweets and stuff, some trash talking and more. So you like pick 3. You don't have to say you're going to pick.
I do because I gotta be honest with you, this year in particular, I'm not 100% sold on anyone. Ooh. So I like the idea of letting 2 other people flush the pigeons before I get a chance to go after mine.
Wait a second. Wait. What is that phrase you just used? Flush the pigeons.
You got, you see the dog goes in, the pigeons flush out, and then you take your shots. So let you guys go in there and get rid of some of the first 2. Let you guys reach on Christian McCaffrey, who isn't going to be healthy, and overreach on Jonathan Taylor, who's going to Carson Wentz is gone, so now he's going to be great. And then I'll get Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook or something like that. It's perfect.
So the pigeons are going to a toilet, or they're getting shot?
No, flushed out. Like not flushed
seed.
Down. Yeah, like flushed out of the bushes.
I'm going to use that expression today. Flush the pigeon.
You better look it up. You better make sure you say it
right. Chet Davis seems like target number 1 because he was the number 1 seed last year, and now. Our pal Dan from Hooters, Bros and Bourbon podcast host, of course, he's calling him Cheeto Chet. He wants to. We're doing this thing in week 2. I'm not sure if you saw this, and I would highly recommend this because we are in a 14-team league, and the NFL regular season is now extended. You play everybody once in a 14-team league, which is cool. So you don't keep playing. Oh, I played this guy twice. So what we're doing is you get a call out week in week 2. So because Dan finished 2nd last year, he gets to pick anybody he wants to play in week 2. Bryce won. So Bryce gets to pick whoever he wants after the draft's over to pick his opponent for week 2. I would lock in Dan versus Chet. And I think it's a fun way to talk trash and everything else. So we're doing a call out week.
I don't remember where I came into this league.
I have a feeling somebody
won so many. I don't even know.
I have a feeling somebody will pick you though, because they'll want to have you on. They're going to use it as a podcast plug.
It's going to be a turd. It's going to be somebody who doesn't even deserve my attention. What were the standings from last year? Do you have them, Andy?
Yeah, it was Bryce and Dan played in the championship. Right. Our guy Matt Woods from Hooters lost in the semis, but Woods is now sort of a part of Team Hooters.
Yeah,
and then Chet lost in the semifinals. And then I lost to Bryce. Trav from the Trav and Rigney show lost in the first round.
It'll be him.
Yeah. And there was 2 other guys.
Show.
There were 4 people who tied for 8th. And I believe it was you and 4 other people in points decided who the final spot was. It came down to the final week.
Yeah.
Also remember we also started playoffs a week sooner. So there's a chance he could have made the playoffs if I started the.
Yeah. I'll get to listen to everybody cry because I made a good trade. And the guy who I made the trade with that they thought I robbed from came in 2nd in the league. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Spot of our draft to be determined. Hopefully we'll be out live for that. Corey Greenwich. Hey, Goz and Goz, give me 2 college football teams that will be in the top 5 at the end of the year. And good. Can't say Bama, Ohio State, or Georgia. Corey, that's not. What is
so stupid?
What is this?
Give me 2 teams that'll be in the top 5, but you can't say these 4 that you would probably say are gonna be in the top 5. So give me your other team that's in the top 5 and your 16.
Oh, okay. I would say for the question you asked me, Corey, I would say Clemson is still a safe pick, even though they got some real quarterback issues. I would say Clemson seems to be the pick here. And I would say Texas A&M because the SEC gets a lot of love. So if Texas A&M finished with like 2 losses, I'd still be not shocked if they got into the top 5. So there's your answer, Corey. I'm allowed to change it. I want to put Notre Dame in there. I want to put Michigan in there. I want to put somebody else in there. But those
feel good about
right now
Notre
would be
Dame
Clemson and Notre Dame's very good. Marcus Freeman. But that's your answer, Corey. Deal with it.
Yeah, I like that. I would love to say Michigan, but I never believe in Michigan until it's time to believe in Michigan. So, but whatever. All right.
Bronco fans are like, what are they doing from Cam? Ryan said it ain't easy being cheesy.
For
the Cheeto reference.
Yeah. Well, listen, I can't wait to do a little fantasy football, but I feel completely underprepared this year. I think it's a crazy year. I really, really do. I think this is one of those years where, like, team super conferences in the pros, like the AFC West, I think it's going to change a lot of things. It's very crazy. Don't sleep on Arkansas. Don't sleep in Arkansas because you'll be with your cousin.
My boy Sam Pittman. Turn on that new bugs.
Arkansas is not going to be a top 5 team, Ryan. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
All right, dude. So the next time I'll talk to you, you're going to be off to vacation, even though we got 2 shows coming out, tape stuff, no live shows next week. But again, going here on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. If you love the NFL, we got NFL preview, bets, picks, Super Bowl predictions all coming. The next time I'll talk to you might be live like this in September.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I'm available. All right, let me give you some advice.
Yes, please.
Here's your advice. Don't call me out in fantasy football because I will beat that ass. I have won more leagues in the last 6 years than you've been in. That's all I got to say about that.
He'll eat that ass.
Beat. Don't eat ass.